Happy New Year! Welcome to 2023, and of course, incidentally, the second edition of Inside Nigeria in this new year of 2023. It's wishing all our viewers out there a happy, bountiful New Year. My name is Winifred Ibego. It's my pleasure to be hosting you on today's program. We are going to be reviewing major headline stories on some select newspapers this morning. As you can see, we don't have a guest now in the house. Of course, it's the holiday season, so the people are coming back gradually to work. We are starting off with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Leadership is laden with an ongoing story by Obasanjo's former president, Olusegun Obasanjo's endorsement of Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi. And the leading story says, unsettled by Obasanjo's letter, presidency hits back. Says ex-president represent dark days of Nigeria's democracy. Can't stand a better leader. Campaign cancels trade wars over content of letter. Opposition jittery over signs of my victory. Tinubu. Unsettled by Obasanjo's letter, presidency hits back. Says ex-president represents dark days of Nigeria's democracy. Can't stand a better leader. Campaign cancels trade wars over content of letter. Opposition jittery over signs of my victory. Tinubu. Still on leadership newspaper, we have two stories above the masthead. It says FIROS unveils instant tax clearance certificate. FIRS, that is Federal Inland Revenue Service, unveils instant tax clearance certificate. Convoy attack, Tambuwa vows to bring perpetrators to book. Convoy attack, Tambuwa vows to bring perpetrators to book. Of course, beneath the masthead, we have a story on business. It says Lekki Port opens talks with liquid bulk terminals for phase 2 development. Lekki Port opens talks with liquid bulk terminals for phase 2 development. And of course, on the left side of the paper, nobody can stop election in Southeast, IPOB declares. As Imo governor escapes as government key for police orderlies. FCT natives seek integration of 858 communities. These are leading stories on Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. For more on the stories you can get, is either you get a copy of a hard copy of the paper or you log on to their website www.leadership.ng. That's where we are stopping for now on leadership. From leadership, we are moving to the next paper on our menu, and that is the Punch. The Punch says, still on Olusegun Obasanjo's letter, anti-Buhari letter, presidency lambasts Obasanjo, says ex-president government corrupt. Anti-Buhari letter, presidency lambasts Obasanjo, says ex-president government corrupt. Obasanjo sold $3.2 billion ASCON. Other assets for peanuts, remove governors arbitrarily. Ex-president deceived Southeast with second Niger bridge. Buhari completed it. OBJ a hypocrite, plotting third term interim government through Obi, APC, PDP. I'll take it again. The leading story today on the Punch. Anti-Buhari letter, presidency lambasts Obasanjo, says ex-president government corrupt. Obasanjo sold $3.2 billion ASCON. Other assets for peanuts, remove governors arbitrarily. Ex-president deceived Southeast with second Niger bridge. Buhari completed it. OBJ hypocrite, plotting third term interim government through Obi, APC, PDP. And that is the leading story on the Punch. But still on the Punch, we also have other stories, headline stories. G5 governors adamant set for Makinde campaign. Ajah DPO transferred as police redeploy corps. Comment Punch. Presidential brigade soldier fires Abuja motorcyclist. Sorry for that. Kills passenger. Presidential brigade soldier fires Abuja motorcyclist. Kills passenger. Then above the masthead of the Punch newspaper, we have other stories as well. External results fell by $3.4 billion in 2022, according to reports. Mobile subscriptions rise by 23 million, now 218 million subscribers. Power generation crashes by 990 megawatts. Gencos lose 1.8 trillion naira. For more on the stories on Punch newspaper, you can log on to their website www.punchng.com. From the Punch newspaper, let's see what Vanguard is saying. Vanguard this Tuesday, January 3rd, 2022 says it has a good picture of awardees on their cover. And of course, they named Alhaji Aliko Dangote as the 2022 Personality of the Year award. However, above the awardees pictures, we have the leading story as well, and that is on Obi's endorsement by former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Presidency attacks Obasanjo, says tenure represented dark days of democracy, maintains former president's record no match for Buhari's achievements. That is the leading story on Vanguard newspaper. And we also have other side stories on the cover. UITH resident doctors strike bites harder. 2023, blame your boss for backing someone else. Wike tells Atiku. NSCIA can to a federal government states secure Nigeria from terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, ritual killings. Emefiele sack DSS DG now. Southern Middle Belt leaders tell Buhari. 2023, mind to lose. Our opponents G3, Tinubu. Underage persons attempting to vote will be arrested, according to INEC. These are the leading stories on Vanguard this Tuesday. For more on the stories, you can get a copy or log on to their website. From the Vanguard newspaper, we are on to this day. This day, Muslim leaders to Nigerians vote for candidates who will lead with fairness, justice. Muslim leaders to Nigerians vote for candidates who will lead with fairness, justice. Urges people to collect their PVCs, elect leaders of their choice. Cautions accidental imams and emergency sheikhs preaching hatred, disunity. Says Muslim women should feel free to wear hijab, not to be discriminated against. Wants security agencies to do more to protect lives, bring killers to justice. That's the leading story on this day. And of course, above the the leading story, we still also have the same story, leading story on the former President Olusegun Obasanjo's letter. Presidency reply says Obasanjo destabilizing internal democracies. Says ex-president deceives Southeast by failing to deliver second Niger bridge after turning the sword. About the masthead of this day newspaper, we have Wike mocks Atiku over Obasanjo's endorsement of Obi. You are a mole in our party, PDP CC tells Rivers governor. Ask him, did Amechi support you? Good products, in quote. Atiku's campaign, your unholy union with Tinubu based on treachery. You are both treacherous. Military. Plans by terror groups to overrun Nigeria fail. The story on page 6 of this day newspaper. For all the stories, you can log on to their websites. The last paper for our review is The Guardian. The Guardian's leading story says, New Year high stakes for subsidy, inflation, insecurity. New Year high stakes for subsidy, inflation, insecurity. Deficit financing to hit 12 trillion naira amid unending borrowing. Deficit financing to hit 12 trillion naira amid unending borrowing. Fuel scarcity may worsen over future of subsidy. Ban on Russian crude. That's the leading story on The Guardian. Of course, there are other stories as well. CBN's short-term loans to banks dropped to 11 trillion naira. CBN's short-term loans to banks dropped to 11 trillion naira. Beneath the masthead, we have presidency attacks. OBJ says former president frustrated, jealous of Buhari's achievements. Those opposing Obasanjo's endorsement of Obi undemocratic, says Wiriwa. Government attack ex-Imo governor Hakeem for policemen fear death. Presidency, Yakasai fought for Obasanjo's backing of Obi. These are all stories on the Ghanaian, and this is all what we can take on today's program Inside Nigeria. Don't forget, same time, same station tomorrow is another day. I'm Megun Ifroya. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.